We're live.
Drop the. This is the word.
The iPhone?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so anyway.
Oh. We got this is like a little stage. We can do all live stuff on. We didn't even talk about it. It's just like
Maybe we just assumed like this is what it's gonna be. So.
Keep up. What are you doing?
Oh, are we waiting for people? We're just gonna start jumping in.
Yeah, we'll just jump right in.
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock now. We normally posted earlier that
Is it 5?
we're going to.
Good people. Hello, people.
We normally try to turn it on
people.
earlier than 5, so we give people a chance to jump in. But today is just a little different. So yeah. All right.
You want to start?
I'll start.
Okay, dokes.
All right. Happy April 1st. Happy April Fools. I got no jokes for you today. Besides, my jiu-jitsu is really good. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. April Fools.
Today we're going to we looked at the suggestions coming through yesterday, and the only suggestion we really received was for Wristlocks. So we're going to cover some Wristlocks today. We hope that you enjoy them. Other than that, anything?
No.
No.
You're gonna do the standing ones. I'm gonna do the ground ones, right?
Yeah. I got one maybe ground one if you want me to show it. That's kind of unique.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to get into it. So, sort of like we talked about yesterday,
I'm keeping my hat on. By
the effectiveness of a wrist lock comes from controlling the hand, but not only controlling the hand, controlling the elbow. So in terms of then standing wrist locks are good because they work in self-defense too. If like James is like bully grabbing me, then I can still wrist lock him here as long as I can control his hand and elbow, right? Especially like somebody's grabbing you in a self-defense domestic situation. They grab you by the shirt or the arms and they try to push you against something. This is an effective lock here for me to come over and start controlling his hand. Just from him pushing into me, he's placing the pressure for me. Okay. So jiu-jitsu though. Okay. First things first, I want to make sure his hand's going to stick in place. So there's a couple different ways to do that. Number one is I change my angle. So you see how his hand rotates. Yeah. I typically like to grab over the top of their hand though. So if you grab it this side just so they can see your knuckles, or how do we do that?
My hands hurt.
There you go. I like to cover the top of his hand, but what I do is I come across the knuckles and I'm coming underneath. I'm hooking into the pinky here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate his hand flat. So this is one wrist lock where I'm setting up right now. I'm rotating his hand flat and I'm clamping down on it. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm reinforcing his grip on my collar with my own grip on his hand here. So as I do that, I'm going to control his elbow. And what I'm going to do is I'm either going to break his elbow inside or I'm going to break his elbow outside. Different ways to do different things. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break his elbow inside. So as he comes here, I'm going to come over the top 1, 2. I'm going to rotate everything in. So see how his shoulder turned? He turned this way here. Everything's turning, and now I'm pressing down on the top here. Now all I'm going to do here is I get here. Now I'm hunched in. He can't really let go. Let go.
I know I can't. I really can't. Ow.
I reinforce, and I just bring my head to his toes as I'm doing it. So it's going to take my chest down. What it's doing is it's taking his wrist, it's flattening it out, and as I'm dropping, it's bringing his knuckles, the back of his knuckles to his arm. I don't know about you, but I can't really take the back of my knuckles to my arm. And look at my elbow. My elbow's pointed out there. I can't keep it pointed in and doing it. So, again, like he gets here right away. Like maybe we're grip fighting and breaking. He doesn't want to break. He's focusing on like whatever, keeping control, wants to get my gi or whatever. While he's doing that, I come 1, 2, and I'm reinforcing 1, 2.
Now, question.
Yes,
when you
sir.
do this, are you dropping down? Like, I see a lot of people in competition, you're like, boom.
Boom. No. It's steady pressure. What I need to make sure happens is that his hand stays in place. If I go like this and his hand slips up, sorry,
No, you're okay.
I lose the lock. And he potentially has a better grip now. I want to make sure the hand stays in place. So 1, I secure it. 2, I reinforce it. Then I reinforce it again. And then now all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my head to my hands. I said feet earlier because my hands are pointed a little bit towards his feet. I'm just going to bring my head because my chest has to follow. My shoulders have to follow. I just keep it all nice and tight. If I do it very quickly, yeah, it's going to hurt him. But if I just try to go here, and I come down, his hand may slip. Remember, in a competitive situation, he's not going to just let me do it. He's going to have tension back at me.
So you're more trying to hug, like.
That's right, yes, exactly. I'm trying to hug. I want to pull it to me. And as I do that, I'm pulling my shoulders over the top of it, keeping his wrist, his hand flat. So you look at the angle it is right now. Right here, the knuckles are out. Now look at the angle. I've brought his palm to my chest. That's very important for this wrist lock. Right here. Same thing. If I do the one we did yesterday where I come over the top, that's what I'm doing with my gi, is I'm bringing his palm to my chest here. I'm also locking it in place as we start to rotate it around. And then that's how I get the pressure. So as I come through, I get the pressure. With that one, there's more of a level change. I didn't really exemplify there. But this is just the basic wrist lock here from standing. It's a really good one to get. You come here, you start to set up something, maybe he steps back, like I go here, boom, his wrist is set, it's flattened already, right here, straight in. Really like this wrist lock, it's really effective, catches people by surprise, especially from those who maybe don't train wrist locks in their gym. They have no idea what's going on, and it really, really catches them off. So there's a really good standing wrist lock. Again, in the good self-defense situation, I'm here, I'm pushing him up. All he's got to do is control my wrists and my hands, whichever way he wants to go. Yeah.
I hate wrist locks. Sit. Shoot. Boom. Hey.
Hey, he did it. You know, all sorts of different grips somebody can have on you. You know, we talked about this one. So the self-defense one works in jiu-jitsu. This is a grip that people get all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I come here. What's he want to do to break my grip? He wants to come outside in. So almost your regrip.
Oh, just regrip.
Yeah, just regrip. So he's going to come from the outside in anyway to regrip. So if I want to regrip, then I'm going to come that way. It's there. Same thing. If he grips here, I want to do a different type of wrist lock or shoulder lock, self-defense situation in sport jiu-jitsu. Again, I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to work on turning. I got the tap there just by turning. Maybe I turn my shoulder over and come all the way over with my hand right here. It's all about controlling the hand to the chest and then where I want his elbow to go. So for this basic one, I just want it flat. I want it inside, reinforce. Say thank you very much.
Any questions so far?
Cool. All right. So we'll go to the ground. So there's a lot of wrist locks we like to do on the ground. So we'll just go there. Cool.
All right, guys. So I don't do many wrist locks, but when I do, it's from the guard or mount.
Or mount.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I have a couple wrist locks that I really like to do. One of them is right from the hips. I got about 2 or 3 of them actually. Again, with these, I don't find them with a high success rate, but it will help break your partner down. It will get their mind off of the things that you're trying to do. And there's a lot of other things. With wrist locks, I've found the faster you do them, the more success you're going to have. Like, you can't, it's really hard to train wrist locks in the gym without like hurting someone.
You want to be controlled.
Yeah, because you just gotta snap it, you know. So it's hard to train them, but in competition, whenever I've seen them happen, it's always lightning fast. You never see it happen. So one right from the hips. I'm here. I like to break them down. Just my normal breakdown right here. Just opening the elbows like a cabinet. Okay? Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to climb my foot up to his hip and keep my knee blocking his arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come under, over, and same thing, same motion. I'm bringing his fingers back. All I'm doing is I'm bringing his elbow into me, but my knee is blocking him from bringing his arm back. So I'm literally just pulling his elbow to my chest. You do it on either side. Typically what I'll do is I'll kind of brush one off, and this hand will be on the hip because they're trying to push back up. That's when I'll scoop under the elbow, bring my knee high. Oh, sorry, you okay?
Yeah.
Is that the bad one?
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
That was the bad one.
Yeah.
That's why I switched. So I'm here. Now all I do is I just crunch and pull his elbow to my chest. It's very, very fast, very, very mean. So be very careful when you're practicing at home. So all I do is I break him down. I'll try to peel one off just to be able to focus on one. When I'm here, cup his elbow, knees up to block. I'm just pulling and hipping up. Like I said, you might not get this one, but in order to avoid the wrist lock, it's very simple. All he has to do is pull his hand down from that. But now look, I can start going for Kimura setups. So that's one that I like to do. The other one I really like to do is from high guard. So we covered this about a month ago. I push it over, I climb my legs high, my knee is over his shoulder. Kind of like how we had the triangle last week. I can't see his shoulder. But in this case, I can't see his shoulder, but his arm is still in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hug. I'm going for the shoulder lock. It's very simple. All I'm going to do is
Tap.
Oh, is that a bad one? You just told me that too. So I'm here. I'm gonna grab the fingers.
So look at the rotation that he's gonna do. Tap. So he's gonna take my hand my palm is pointed this way. He's gonna turn my palm to face this way now. So there's a rotation, and then he's gonna bring pressure back into it.
His pinky goes to his shoulder, and I'm twisting here. Okay, so it's very similar to the shoulder lock we did a couple weeks ago, but instead I grab here, set palm to palm, I grab back of the hand to palm, I take my knife, bend his wrist here, because I can't be really strong. I can't, one-on-one isn't gonna work, but I bend it, I bend it to help reinforce it. Now turn and pull his whole arm this way. So that's my chew.
Yeah.
I got one more from him.
All right.
Any questions?
I'm not seeing any, but it could be the app.
Oh yeah,
doing that
we
thing,
had that
yeah.
problem yesterday. Guys, if we don't have see your questions, for whatever reason, my phone is not popping up all the questions. So if we get it later, I apologize. We'll answer it tomorrow. So last one that I have. I do it for mount. I like to set it up with cross collar choke, but you can also just do it in nogi just by putting your hand here. Anytime they come to block is an opportunity for me to wrist lock them. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down, get my legs nice and high, so his elbow is now into my hip. Okay, I don't want it to be out here where it can move. I want it somewhat blocked, so I'll even put part of my leg over his arm. So I'm here, I'm blocking. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Is that the bad one? Mm-mm. Okay.
It's gonna be.
So when he grabs, I come here, snap. Now same thing, I'm pulling it down and towards my pocket. It's very, very quick. If I do it with the two collars set up into arm bar, okay, I push it across, I come here, I come to S mount. Now look, same thing. But for this one, because I'm on top of him, my body is here, and I can even do it for the other setup for mount too. I come here and here. I don't have to come here. I can come double down and really crunch on it. It's really, really nasty. It's very, very fast. So if you're practicing at home, go slow. If you're practicing sparring with someone at home, go slow.
Yeah. Thing with wrist locks and pricing, if you catch them, just exercise some control. In tournament, in real life situations, yes, go fast. Recognize that the wrist doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to be able to break So it's one of those things, especially in like self-defense situation. You know, if he's on top of me trying to, you know, beat me or whatever, you know, maybe I can catch a wrist. So what we've been doing is a gooseneck, which is where you bring the palm to the.
I think is more devastating than the other one.
I think it hurts more. It's a little easier to do, but it's where you bring the palm to the wrist. And I forget what exactly they call this. I think they call it like a cow hand or something like that, because it's coming back. But there really doesn't take a whole lot of pressure. Like if you get this on somebody and you're really wanting to hurt them, you will. So anyway, exercise control when practicing.
That's two I got.
Two you got. All right, so I got another one I really like from the guard. I find it works a little bit more in no-gi because exactly where James just put his hands.
I was thinking about doing it, but I'm not the best at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can do it in the gi too. Sometimes people will they'll break into your gi, like when we do our prison break here and stuff. But especially if they put their hands into your biceps right here, this is a perfect time to wrist lock someone. So a lot of times. On that one?
Yeah,
sure.
Thank you.
So a lot of times what we'll do just to break the grips and free our arms, we'll just bring our hands back behind our head and rotate, right? So for this wrist lock, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come over the top and I'm going to crunch on it right here. So you see me, I'm coming over, I'm bringing his hand, I'm rotating it to my chest right here, and I'm going to essentially grab I'm going to rear naked choke myself right here on my own shoulder. From here, I'm going to reinforce on the wrist. And now I'm just going to do a crunch into him. It's really slick and, sorry about that, really slick and really smooth. A lot of people don't see it coming because they just think, I'm just trying to free my arms. And the next thing you know, I'm just right there and I got it. So really awesome. There's so many other wrist locks from a lot of different positions, but all essentially revolve around the same way. You know, Coach James talked about this earlier. You can just do basic wrist lock here. If I just shove it inside, all I'm doing is just making sure the hand's stuck. I'm controlling the elbow at the next lever, and I'm bringing the back of his knuckles to his wrist on this side. You know, if we're playing inside here, I like to play it all the time like this. I grab people's hands all the time. I just do this because why? What are they going to do? They're going to fight it. They're going to open up. A lot of times I'll attack a wrist lock on one side. They're going to protect with the opposite hand. So like let's say I come through here, boom, I've caught it on this side, and now I can get the tap here.
If anything, I think the wrist lock's really good distraction.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's so. It might not be, in my opinion, Professor Fredson, if you're watching, I know he has much higher success.
Absolutely, and probably a higher understanding.
But you know, for me, because I'm not the best at wrist locks yet. As I said, yet I will master them one day. But for me, you know, if you go for them, you don't get them. It's a low risk.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah. So I mean, practice them, play with them, see if you like them. Do you guys remember Robbie?
Yep.
God, did you ever get wrist locked by him?
Of course I did.
Oh my God,
He wrist locked everybody.
When we had a fight.
Oh my God,
each other at Fuji.
yeah,
man.
Dude, he broke a guy's wrist at Blue Belt.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's the same, man. It is so devastating, but like you said, just the distraction element. I use it to set up other stuff so much. If we go to side control real quick. I know I've been here practically with everybody in the gym.
Oh, this is another one.
Where I come here, and we talked about like Kimura trapping and things like that, but even just here. So what do you want to do? If I come here, a lot of times you're going to try to hide your hand or you're going to extend your arm, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a lot of times what people do. I'll get a wrist lock right here on people, and just because they'll want to fight it, right, and they'll bring it in for me, great, thank you. Now you've given me my Kimura grip, and I can do a lot of different things. It's about being playful a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. Just recognizing they're everywhere. Like, I know...
it's definitely a lot of trial and error. Yeah. Is it John?
It's Richard.
Oh. Hi, Richard.
Oh,
he's probably outside. He needs to be let in.
You have a better face than me today because of my hair.
Sure. it's again, like I said, being playful. Wrist locks really are everywhere if you look for them. Just like the triangle is everywhere if you look for it. If you have a submission you like, find it, and just practice. Work like sit in side control. And how many different ways can you turn your body? Can they turn their body? Can you find where it's going? Can they move their arm? Can they position? When you go and you do flow exercises or you play jiu-jitsu chess with your partner, you know, where one of you makes a movement and then the other person gets to make a movement and then you get to make a movement, you'll start to see it. Man, I can probably put my hand here and stop their elbow from moving. What are they going to do? Then they have to do their move with their hip or whatever, and it helps set you up for the next thing. Speaking of Richard, I was just talking to him yesterday about it, thinking about the way like he rolls, and I've seen him roll and stuff like that in practice with me beforehand and things like that. He's got a really good system of pushing people where he wants to go. It's if I do this, I can expect to elicit X reaction. So I'm not faking something, I'm going to do it, but I know likely they're going to do this thing. So if they do it, I'm already set up to counter what that thing is. And that's the high level thinking that you want to get to, that's going to make you a really good blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and eventually a good black belt too. I really hope that you guys can take that as a concept and learn from it. Just practice stuff. I know me and Kelly, we'll just grab each other at home, and I'll just grab her wrist and start bending it around, just seeing what elicits a response sometimes.
I did not consent to this, by the way.
No, she doesn't. She hates it, but it is what it is, and she does it right back to me. Don't let her fool you. But again, I don't do it. I don't do it hard. I don't do it to hurt her. I'm just playing around. It's just it's on my mind for whatever reason, or sometimes isn't. I'm just doing it subconsciously, and yeah, it just is what it is. But it helps me get better at that sort of stuff. I'm just being playful with it, and I think when you roll and do your jiu-jitsu sort of that same way, that playful way, you'll start to see these openings. And then once you find something that works, then drill it. Okay, I got into this position, their hand went here, I collapsed on it, and I got the wrist lock. So just drill it when you have the ability to. In the meantime, just continue to watch the instructional, watch a video, ask us questions so that we can detail it more in more videos, really break things down. If you really want to see something really broken down into the intricacies of each step, we're happy to do it. Anything to help you get better, any possible way we can right now. All right, so that's going to do it for basically our jiu-jitsu portion. A couple of good wrist locks there for you. Don't want to overwhelm you with like 20 different ones. I think we got like 6 or 7 in that little bit. Coach James and Coach Richard are going to move forward with the kickboxing portion. So if you're at home looking to get a good workout in, try to follow along with it, and do the combinations along with Coach James, and get a good workout. And hopefully you don't get kicked in the head. Thank you. I'll leave it to Coach James and Coach Richard. They'll be here in just a second.
Kelly, you should do the Wheel of Fortune music. Is that what it is?
The Wheel of Fortune music.
I don't know. Jeopardy?
That's Jeopardy, I think.
Mike, would you please start a timer? Yes. 3 minute on, minute and a half off. Thank you. Hey guys.
Hi,
Happy
Coach
Wednesday.
Richard.
Hi. What's going on?
Nothing.
So Mike's going to start a timer. The idea for today, and James, you could listen too because you're going to be doing it.
Oh, awesome.
So we're going to have a technique to follow. So we'll do the technique. So for example, round 1, just jab cross, nice and simple jab cross. Step out, so that's a step back or pivot out, and then step back in, do the same technique. So we're doing the same technique twice in a row, but we're separating it with a step out or a pivot out and then a step back in. So yeah, whenever you want to start. So nice and simple. So James is out of range. He's gonna step in with a jab cross, step out, then step in with a jab cross, and then step out. Nice and simple. So just like that. So our first technique is a jab cross, step out, step in, jab cross, jab cross. And then step out. Yeah, and then come right back in. So we're 1, 2, step out, 1, 2. So yeah. But be careful not to bounce when you're doing this technique, because if you leave the ground too far, then it just gets wet.
Right. I always want to throw my cross.
Jab cross. Beautiful. And then pivot out. Another option is to pivot. So James throws that pivot to your right. Jab cross, pivot, step in. Yeah, and then jab cross. Boom, boom, step pivot, boom, boom. All right, so you can pivot. The idea is moving off that center line. Step back. Boom. And you can pivot the other way also. So jab cross. Yeah. Because if James is standing in front of me, I can hit him. But as soon as he starts moving, he's a lot harder target to hit. You're good. Beautiful. Now kick any way you want. Back, side to side.
Now, can you bounce too? I mean, shuffle, I guess?
Yeah, shuffle or slide, but don't bounce. Yeah, the idea is you're applying technique twice in a row, are separated by movement out of my direct range. And at the end, pivot out again or step back. Half of fighting or half of defense is all about the movement. If you look at MMA fighters, their gloves are tiny, right? So it's hard to protect the face. So half of that defense of not getting hit is moving the head off the center line. You can't really cover your face. Cover your face. You can't really shell up like you would in Muay Thai or boxing. In MMA, you have those tiny gloves. So it's important for James to move around, move his head, move his body. Do it 3 times in a row now. Okay.
Chopping my feet.
Okay. Here you go. Give me crunch. Are you guys getting, is there enough space for you to see?
No.
No? Do you want to move to the mat area?
If you want them to see both the feet and the punching, yeah, that would be better.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm cutting you off basically like at your knees.
Oh no. That's something that the,
Or you gotta move to the door.
What?
keep going. Alright, time. Catch your breath. Alternative. You want to showcase this fancy cage.
Let's see.
So the next technique we're going to go over is a jab cross. Left hook to the body, left hook to the head. It's very important when you're throwing this. Be my dummy. Be yourself. Right, so what's this? When I throw my, cover your face. When I throw my jab cross, he covers his face. Boom, boom. I'm going to throw the body shot. My body's turned just like I throw a left hook to the head. I'm going to throw that left body shot. I'm going to throw that left body shot. I pull my right shoulder back, bend my knees, pull, boom. After this, I'm going to reload. So I'm pointing my right shoulder at him again. That body shot causes him to drop his hands, and I unload that hook to the head, right? So this, the most important thing you can take away from this technique is reloading the shoulder. 1, 2, boom, boom. Right, it's not 1, 2, slap, slap. There's no power in that second hook. So we'll do this technique just once, a couple of times, and then we'll go through it. Step out, do it again. Jab across, body shot, preload, boom. Make sure you're sitting a little bit heavier. When you're throwing this body shot, you don't necessarily want to be leaning forward like this. I want a little bit more weight in my back foot. I want to be able to bend my legs. Sit down a little. I don't want you to pull. Yeah, better. My sit bend. So don't lean so much. Sit down. Beautiful. Good. Are you gonna duck under my hook? You can do it again. Boom, boom. Yeah. So now, if you're practicing this, you're shadow boxing at home. Duck under a hook after that body shot and do the same technique again. 1, 2, body, head, duck. 1, 2, body, head. Beautiful. Very good. 1, 2, body. 1, 2, body. Beautiful. We'll go the other way. 1, 2, body, head, duck. 1, 2, body. Like we've done before, when James ducks under my punch, he goes straight down, boom, underneath, and not the other side. Right, so he makes a nice U shape with his head. Duck under my right hook. Beautiful.
I stuffed myself too much.
You're getting a little close.
Yeah.
Hands up, go. Duck to the right. Duck to the left. One more time. Yeah. Hold on. You alright? Sound
Yeah.
okay?
Yep. Wrist, everything.
Yeah? Okay, good. So to reiterate one more time, when you're throwing that body shot, my knees are bent and I'm pulling with my rear shoulder. Oh, right. Some people will lean forward and their weight will come off their front foot. When we're throwing our left punch, if it's not the jab, so an uppercut or a hook, my weight is transitioning from this foot to this foot. Right. So if I'm throwing the body shot, doing this, there's not that transition, and I can't put my weight behind the strike. Take a break. So the next setup will be a jab cross and a right body shot. Boom, 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 yeah. So, can you zoom into this footwork?
Yes.
What's the easiest way? Yeah, okay. We'll go this way. So look, very important. I throw my jab cross, which I'm gonna pull this right hand back. And as I pull this right hand back, I'm gonna send my right foot forward and kick my left heel. So once I kick my left heel, I'm gonna hop my left foot out and turn my booty and load up my shoulder for that body shot. Right? So that looks like this. 1, 2. Watch as I pull this back, I'm gonna take my right foot, make a T, and kick my left heel. Boom. Now I'm gonna step with my left foot, turn my booty, and throw that body shot. So if you look at the entire thing, I'm gonna throw that jab cross, boom, boom. Watch, I'm gonna pull this right hand back, step with my right foot, boom, load up my booty, point my shoulder, and hit that body shot. So if I do this fast motion, 1, 2, boom, or even faster, boom. Right, it's the same thing with that body shot. I'm bending my knees and I'm pulling with my left shoulder. Now that's my hand. Alright, so nice and simple. Jab cross, pull it back. Boom, beautiful.
Yeah?
Yep.
Right.
1, 2, pull. Boom. Pull it back and pop it. So you're almost, as you pull this back, I'm moving my feet in a little hop, but I'm driving my shoulder. I'm driving my shoulder towards him to load up for that right.
For a bigger shot.
Yeah. Here. Boom. Yeah. And then pivot out to the end.
Are you throwing an uppercut or like a hook?
More like a hook.
More like a hook?
Yeah. And then duck underneath. Beautiful. And then do it again.
That's some slow.
And then step out, step out, step out.
Ah!
Silly hat.
Mine? Two.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of hopping a little too high. So when I say hop, it's not a big movement. It's more like a 1, 2. Oh. So a better phrase would be a slide. You slide. Yeah. Yep. Don't get too close. Beautiful. Yes.
Woo!
So a good drill. That foot movement. So we can go. This was a right hand. A right hand was. I'm gonna do the same thing. I can kick my heel, step to that right hand. Or I can do the same for the opposite side. A left hand was. I'm gonna step and kick my heel. Right. Boom. 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 Right. A good drill to do this is to step inward and rotate your butt. I can go the other side. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Notice how when I step in, I kick my heel, step out. I imagine there's a circle on the ground. I keep my head above it, and all I'm doing is rotating around it. Okay. This next technique, very simple. Most simple body shot you can throw. Most simple body shot. After a few of these, the other person's gonna start trying to throw it back, and that's when you know you've annoyed them. Just a jab cross, jab to the body. When I throw this jab to the body, look what I do with my head. 1, 2, boom. I change my level and I move my head off center line, right? I slip to the outside of his lead punch, and if he were to throw his right hand, I have a shoulder here.
So I have to really come over the top.
Yeah, right. So it's just a 1, 2. Which I can do a small step if I want to. My head comes off the center line, just like if he throws a jab. I'm gonna slip, but I'm gonna throw my jab down the middle. Boom. Just like that. I change my level. All right. 1, 2. Boom. My head comes off the center line. Oh, I didn't really know. Yeah, super annoying. You can hit it all day. The most important thing is when you throw that jab cross, you make me put my hands up. Because if it's some like lazy jab cross, and you step in for that body shot, oh, that thing's coming straight towards you, right? But if I cover up, pop up, boom, yeah. Make sure it's straight down the middle. Nice. Boom, boom. Yep. Pop, pop, pop. There you go. Now step out, step in, do it again. So, oh, beautiful.
Probably go to the side. Can you?
You can step to the side too. Yeah. Anytime if you slip outside a punch, right, boom, you can step a little bit too. Load up, boom, come over the top with that right hand. Yeah. Or even like slip and step right there. Boom. Yeah. So for shadow boxing, your goal is to make these technique perfect, so full extension, as fast as you can, as crisp as you can. After the second one, pivot out, duck under my head. Slow it down. Oh, we can do one more. Yay! Hands up, hands up, hands up. One more. Give me a stiff jab to the stomach. One time. One time. There you go. Good. Legless.
Woo!
Legless.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Next exercise. So it's all core today. Core, because we know the importance of core. Right, to reiterate, when I step in with that jab, I don't just step straight in and I don't lean forward, right? If I step straight in and I don't move my head, I'm gonna get hit. So it's important that I move my head off the center line, right? If I just lean forward, I don't actually bend my legs, my arm, like it takes a lot shorter distance, right? Stand up here. Right. Kind of bend your arm, straighten your arm a little. Watch. So James's arm isn't fully extended, right? If I just lean in, he can hit me from there, right? I'm not bending. I'm just leaning forward, right? This is a much shorter distance than this, right? So I want to change my level jab because he can't really hit me from here, right? I want to use my length as an asset. Right. Next, nice and simple. We have a jab cross inside leg kick. Boom. Right? And then we also have a cross hook outside leg kick. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, don't even move. Don't even move.
It's not done. Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So this is a classic Thai technique. You just hit those two punches hard. Pop, pop. Boom. Hit that leg hard. There you go. Boom. Okay. We'll play. We'll follow the same trend. So we're gonna hit the same technique twice in a row. Boom. Do you see how James got his legs underneath him before he tried throwing that jab again? Boom.
Just that.
After that, yeah, beautiful. See how his feet are planted? Now he can jab. Boom, boom, boom. So it's very important to have any control, power, technique. You have to be balanced. You can't throw off an unbalanced face. Yeah. Yeah. Speed up those punches. Good. Now we're going to go jab cross inside, cross hook outside. Boom, boom, inside. Boom, boom. Do that again. More shin, less foot. So when James is kicking my leg, go ahead and hold your leg right there. Boom. See how, can you zoom in on this?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could step forward actually. I want you to look at this. What James is kicking with is his ankle. This is soft and squishy and nice. So
Don't do that.
what I want the shin. This thing right here, so above this bone, is hard as like a baseball bat. This is what you should be kicking with. If you're kicking here, because you're trying to be nice, that's one thing. But this doesn't do a lot of damage. It's all about the baseball bat. No, you don't have to be nice. It's all about that baseball bat. And even if you're training, you should be applying the correct technique all the time. 1, 2, inside. Yeah, that's much better. Give me a little shot on that last leg. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Hold the plank and do kickouts. This is my favorite version of the plank
I hate this.
and kickouts. You have to use a lot of core for this one. I think everybody can hear me, right? Because we have no complaints.
No complaints.
All right. But yeah, the reason we throw that jab cross or that cross hook is to set up that leg kick. Yeah. All right, time. It's too noisy. We always want to set up leg kicks. Always want to set up leg kicks, because if James throws a naked leg kick, so throw an inside leg kick, all I have to do is throw something right down the middle, right? This typically, go throw the inside leg kick. This isn't the strongest leg kick because it's just more of a snap, right? And so all I do is just take the kick and just make him pay with a punch, right? So it's very important when you're throwing that jab cross, you make me cover up before you throw that leg kick. Last one, all about hand speed. We call it the Mike Tyson special. Jab, cross, up, hook, cross. Jab, cross, uppercut, hook, cross, step out, step in, do it again.
Okay.
All right, Mike Tyson special. Boom, boom, up, hook, cross, step out, step in. Jab, cross, up, hook, cross.
Oh God. So continuing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, just 2 times. So we pick one technique and we apply it, then get out, get in, do the same exact thing. 1, 2, up, cross, step out, step in. 1, 2, up. Up.
That last one's a cross.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a.
No.
That's why you step back. You hit the head.
There you go. There you go. Hands up, hands up, hands up. James isn't always moving back, right? Which is important. The second you become predictable is the second you get caught with something that you don't like. So he's stepping to the side, he's stepping back, moving left, moving right, moving his head. These are all very important things if you're sparring or you're fighting. One more time. Da, 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 da. Don't smother your punches. So, if you're at home and you're doing this combo, man, you should be getting tired. There's a lot of punches to throw in the rough.
Oh, you got top.
And everything should be nice and crisp. Try don't take any extra steps. Watch. Slow. 1, 2, up, cross. He steps out. He steps in. 1. Right, there's minimal wasted movements. Out. It's in. It's not a bunch of extra steps. Tight, crisp, efficient movement. You can go faster than that. Out of there. Out of there.
Go faster.
Go fast.
Come on, go faster.
2 more times. Step out, step out, step
Woo!
out. One more time. One more time. Breathe, deep breath. Go. One more time, go. All right. That's done. Okay.
I'm tired.
Oh, we're good. We threw some abs in between each round. So, you know what? Let's do some abs.
Yeah.
You do some abs, Mike? All right.
Wait, is that Mike tagging in for me? No.
Oh.
That's Mike being emotional support, Mike.
Yeah. Wow. So nice. Did you ever read these words?
No, actually, I just saw them today that they're there.
It says, "Shut up and fight" in Michigan Fight League.
Yeah, that's where they got it from originally, Michigan.
I like those hands at the end there. Ta 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 ta. Nice and crisp.
You know, a lot of arms at home, a lot of curls, a lot of tries, skull crushers.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you? Oh, good.
yeah. Every time I,
All right, let's hold the plane.
so every time on Netflix, watch a lot on Netflix and here's while I do homework. Every commercial.
You should do these skull crushers.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
If you put your elbows way behind you, it's way harder.
I'm good.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Yeah, do like 20 reps, curls or whatever workout I pick. Just every commercial. Every
No,
commercial.
good. I remember doing that, but with pull-ups. I was watching full metal jacket. It was before I joined the Marine Corps. Like every couple of minutes, I'd do 5 pull-ups. 5 pull-ups.
I used to be able to do like 25 pull-ups.
We've got a
Yeah.
bar that we'll put up
Used
at
to.
our bathroom, and sometimes like we'll just if going in and out, you gotta pay the toll. So
Oh, could have paid the troll toll.
yeah. If you want to
If you want to
use the bathroom, you gotta do some pull-ups. You know, when you go out, you gotta do some pull-ups. You know.
Do you ever see It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I've never actually watched the show.
No, that was one of the episodes. You gotta pay the troll toll if you want to get this boys home. Oh man, so funny. I figure we could just do 3 minutes of plank.
Okay, yeah, just straight.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah!
your butt's a little low, James.
I know.
You're a little saggy. No saggy butts, man. How was jiu-jitsu?
Oh, we did do.
Do cover some wristlocks.
Yeah, I just did some Wristlocks. Oh, hi viewers at home.
No, hey, I ate like 35 of those eggs. Yeah, they're awesome. I usually don't eat that many eggs, but I feel inclined to eat them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I read somewhere today that if you feed your chickens like hot chili peppers, and they don't have receptors for hotness, so they can't taste it, but their eggs will come out spicy.
really?
And I really want to test this theory.
You know, I heard if you eat glitter, your poop comes out sparkling.
I sure will.
You know?
I've seen the videos.
Beautiful.
I've not tried it. I've seen the videos. But I can only imagine the digestive system.
Kids,
you
if
know?
you're watching at home, do not eat poop.
Don't eat glitter.
Oh, you should get
I said eat poop.
Don't do that either.
You can get edible glitter.
Yes,
I wonder if you can.
that's true.
I wonder if it disappears though in your digestive
I
tract.
bet. Well, you know, they've got the gold flake stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
People
But-
pay a pretty penny for all that.
But how much of that can you really eat? It's very thin, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the financial burden on your wallet may decide that
Ah,
before anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, simple techniques. It's all about how well you can do the basics.
There is a request to see a couple live rounds.
Of sparring.
Mm-hmm.
not today, maybe another day.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You guys want to watch?
Who's requesting?
It's Jose.
It's Jose.
If you bring my stuff next week.
Oh God,
Um,
I'm sick.
and as long as Jose is here next week, we'll do, I don't know, whatever, three,
You
4 or 5 minute rounds.
You want to see Richard beat me up?
So we're gonna set up Fight Club, right? All right.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Well, otherwise, guys, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.